Okay, welcome. This is a series of courses for the over-the-wire Bandit challenges. In this video, we're going to be covering connecting to the Bandit servers and the solution for Bandit level 0 into Bandit level 1. So we won't be covering the level 1 solution here, but only the level 0 and connection. Okay, so if we read our brief, we can see that we're going to be using the secure shell protocol to connect to the Bandit servers, and we're going to be using this domain name, Bandit0 as a username, and when prompted, Bandit0 as a password over the 2220 port. If you'd like to read more about the SSH command or the secure shell on wiki, there are links for it there. I'd also suggest that in later challenges you do read the linked command descriptions and things like that, as they do play a massive part in things. Okay, so to connect, we need to be on Linux. There are plenty of tutorials on YouTube to install, download, set up Linux. I'm using the Parrot OS in a VirtualBox, and then from there we simply open the terminal, and everything is in the command line from there. So we know that we're going to be using the secure shell command, and then we need to specify which port that we're connecting on. Okay, so we use something called a flag, and flags are preceded by this hyphen. Okay, that tells the SSH command that what follows should be a port number, and we know that that's going to be 2220. From there, we need to specify our username, which in this case is Bandit0, and we use the @ symbol, which usually denominates a user. And then we use the domain that was given to us. So on the left hand side of the @ symbol is our username, on the right hand side of the symbol is the domain, and the domain is going to be resolved into the IP address of the server that we're trying to connect to, as SSH is a client initiated connection. So bandit.labs.overthewire.org, and then I think that's our full command, so let's have a look. Yep, amazing. And we know that our password here is going to be Bandit0. Don't worry if the password doesn't show up, as that is a Linux thing. If for whatever reason you've just connected and there's an extra step, it might ask you to type out yes. Don't worry, I've done this before, which is why the step didn't come up for me, but if you just type in yes, you could be exactly where I am. Okay, from here we should check that we're in the right directory, in the right place. I mean, we've already got a few clues that our username is Bandit0, which should indicate to us that things were pretty successful. Just checking, yep, print working directory has told us that we are in Bandit0. Perfect, we're in the right place. Now if we use the ls command, which is the list command, we can see that we have a file here called readme. Now ls lists all of the available files in your directory. And if you want to know more about any command, you can prefix it with man, which stands for manual, and then the command that you're interested in learning more about. So in this case, it's list. We can see that list directory contents is the purpose of the ls command, and then we've got all of the different kinds of flags that you might want to use with ls. So there's a lot of useful stuff here. For example, list all entries in directory order. You could list them by date. You could list them by human readable, but yeah, there's multiple flags to use here, but for now ls is fine. So we've got this readme file. How do we figure out what's in the readme file? Well, first let's see what type of file it is. File readme. It's an ASCII text file, so it contains text. Amazing. So if we use the concatenate command, cat usually takes as standard input keyboard commands. So if we use cat without any input, it will default to standard input, which is our keyboard, and we can see how that works here. It will echo back to us what we've written. Amazing. So Control C to exit that. Cat. We can also give cat a file to read, and it'll output the contents of that file, which we know is ASCII text, into the standard output, which is the command line. So it took standard input here from us, and then its standard output was the command line. So let's give it the readme file, and hopefully it should give us standard output to the command line. Yep, amazing. So here is our password, along with a little blurb about the nature of the challenge and things like that. Okay, so we've got our password, and that is Control Shift C to copy in a virtual machine, and Control Shift V to paste. Alright, so that concludes our first challenge. We can exit here, and we are back to our home terminal. Alright, thank you very much for watching.